So with the recent news about Iga Swiatek and the batch melatonin that she took that ended up her getting a 1-month ban, and of course the Jannik Sinner stuff that's been happening over the last few months, Simona Halep has done a formal interview talking about the situation. Of course, she came out on social media a few weeks ago, talking about it, but now she's talking about more about how it affects her, the treatment that she took, and let's have a listen to what she had to say. This is what she had to say in a recent interview regarding that it isn't fair about Swiatek and Sinner's cases being kept a secret. She said, "I heard some people said that I didn't discover the contamination faster, but the substance that I had was so difficult to find. You find it in China and somewhere else. I don't know exactly, and it took time to be delivered so they can make the test. It was not my fault because I didn't want to find the contaminant. You know what I mean? What I believe is not fair either is that they announced my case straight away, and I got all the heat from the press, and for these two players, they kept it secret. And they just said about the case when everything was done, so it's very weird. And I asked also to lift the provisional suspension to be able to play. I said, if you believe in the end that I am guilty, you take the points back and all the money and everything, but let me play, because I wanted to keep the rhythm. I asked this about 2 or 3 times, but now they, Sinner and Swiatek, could play. The women player, I don't want to give name, you know who I'm talking about? She had the 3-week suspension. Then she played 2 events, and then she gets suspended again. What is this? I mean, I don't understand. So I feel it is not fair." So there you have it. Simona Halep talking about how her case was not fair compared to Sinner and Swiatek. And I think a lot of people probably agree with Halep. You know, as soon as she was, I guess, made public that it was her, that she had been, had a banned substance in her body and that she was suspended or provisionally suspended at the time, the press were all over it. Everybody was talking about it. It was the biggest news in town back in 2022. But Jannik Sinner, back in March, we didn't hear about that for almost 6 months later, and also Swiatek, we didn't hear about her banned substance, or at least the traces of substance in her body until after the season was over, and she had served her sentence during the season. Nobody knew about that either. So I can agree with Halep there. I think it is unfair for her. I mean, they're not all the same cases. We've got to remember that as well. But it seems a little unfair for Halep. Halep was treated, I think, the most unfair of recent players to have something like this happen, of high-profile players. Of course, there's a lot of low-ranked players that have probably also been treated this way, but in terms of high-profile players, there's no doubt that the way her case was handled was very bad. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about all this? Do you agree with Halep? Do you disagree with Simona Halep? Do you think that Swiatek and Sinner should have been, penalized harsher? Do you think they should have been, the press should have known about this as soon as it happened? Or do you think that, being kept under wraps until it was, until I guess it was all formally official? I don't know the terms, but let me know down in the comments below what do you think about this one. But Simona Halep talking about how it wasn't fair the way that she was treated in comparison to other players.